Hello, everybody. Welcome. This is Kevin Klimchak with We Insure. I am excited to announce that we are rolling out the new version of Isymphony. We were on the previous version 2.8.2, and this one is very different than the other one. I've been very pleased with it during trials and setting everything up and all that. Some really cool stuff. A lot of it on the back end, but a very, very noticeable difference on the front end. I think everybody will enjoy it and like it. Performance of it seems to be tremendously better, web-based, et cetera, et cetera. So without a further ado, I'd like to go ahead and get into it a little bit. This top menu up here, refer to it as the action bar. Each one of these drop downs is a little bit different. We're going to go through each one here. The My Stream view is everything that you see for your extension. You can, and we'll go into much more detail on this. They call this actually a widget, but this is a global quick action to get to this history, your extension history and all that, if you do not have it set up on your dashboard quickly right there. The queue, this is more for our people in service. This is where you would log in and out of the queue, to choose the queue that you're supposed to be logged into. Of course, log in, log out, that kind of stuff. You can pause it from there. More on that here a little bit later. The conference menu option is where you can generate a new conference call. I think it's a little bit easier to do it from the actual conference room, but each person will have their own preference. But we'll get into that here in just a few minutes. The call button is where you can copy in a quick phone number. Used to be over here to the left-hand side on the old version. Now it's quickly a drop-down. You can call. It's basically no matter what dashboard you're in, this will always be up here, and you can use to call out to a person's extension, phone number, outside call, doesn't matter from right there. The top right-hand side is if you click on this drop, it just shows your status. Right now, it just shows I'm available. If you can change that right here, away, in a meeting, out to lunch. This may be very handy for the agents, producers, wondering what they're doing, wondering where they are, that kind of stuff. Service team, that kind of stuff. D&D settings, where you put your phone on Do Not Disturb. What happens with that call after you put it on D&D. And also you can set up your own personal extension groups, and we'll go into that in just a minute, and of course log out from right there. This drop down right here, so no matter what your dashboard looks like, if you have voicemail set up here, you can always get to your voicemails by clicking on this little drop down right here. And you can see that, forward it, delete it, the typical actions you can do with a voicemail. Again, we'll get into all that in just a few minutes. Okay, let's go ahead and get into the individual, what Isymphony refers to as widgets. And most of these are very familiar. If you're familiar with our older version and stuff, it just looks a lot different. A number of things have changed how we do the process, how we process things. But let's just go ahead and get into it here. So the My Stream is your extension. This is your call history. This is your chat history. If you click on your chat history, will show up along this left-hand bar right here. All you got to do is click on the person, and the chat history will show up. It shows if calls are going to your cell, work phone, your extension, etc., etc. The user section is all the other extensions within the company, both field and also corporate. Just like before, each one of these columns are sortable. You can sort it by name, you can sort it by extension, etc., etc. The view of this can be changed. Right now, we are in a list view. I prefer the list view just because you can sort by these columns a little bit easier. But a lot of you guys are familiar with the box view. If you click on those four dots right there, it'll bring it back to the box view. It just takes a couple seconds to switch back and forth, but the functionality is there, is the same on either view. It just kind of depends on what your preference is. You can still sort it up here in the box view. if that is your preference. Search is right here. You can click on that. Let me bring back the list view here so we can see it just a little bit easier. So again, the search button, you just click on that search button right there, and it will bring it up right here. Let's just go ahead and bring up Adam's extension just to kind of clean this up. While we're here, so we kept the same naming structure on all the extensions. So for instance, if you want to bring everybody up that's in Pablo's office, 021, you can just bring it up because we have, it's based on, it's searchable based on first name, last name, any of these WHO codes, the office extension, etc. So let's go back to Adam here real quick here just so we can narrow it down. I just wanted to point that out real quick. Under Adam's extension here, one of the things, these icons off to the right, you guys are fairly familiar with this. If you put your cursor over each one, it kind of shows you what it is. This is to send an email. This is to start a chat session. For our managers in service, this is where you guys can log your people underneath you in and out of the queue. This is your do not disturb button if you have permissions to control other people's do not disturb status. This is your voicemail that you can drop a call to someone's voicemail here. But one thing that did change right here, you used to have a cell number, a cell icon where you can call the person's cell directly. They changed that a little bit here. So if you go under account and click on this drop down right here, you can actually see the cell number from there. And if you click on that, it will actually call out to that outside cell number. So I'm going to actually show you guys how to transfer a call. I'm actually going to call in here from my cell phone, so just bear with me a little bit here. I'm going to call our queue directly, and my phone will...
All calls are recorded for quality assurance.
And I'm going to go ahead and mute that on my end here. More. Alright, so we got the call coming in. And if you notice here, when the call comes in, it turns yellow, but when the call is connected, it does turn a solid green. So let's say I want to transfer this call to Adam. Literally all we have to do is drag and drop this call and see how it kind of highlights Adam's extension. If I were to let go right now on my left mouse button, it would actually, the call would leave my extension and go directly to Adam. Let's say I know Adam is either out of the office or whatever, not available, and want to transfer the call directly to his voicemail. That's no problem. I can literally drag and drop it over to the individual icon for voicemail. If I were to let go right now, it wouldn't ring Adam's extension at all. It would go directly to his voicemail. So the same way that we transfer calls previously, nothing's changed on that. Matter of fact, we have our drop down right here, and we do have our extension group, our default extension group set up. And if you go to, everyone's going to have access to the department. So let me clear out that searchable field there. We have all our departments set up. So same thing, if you want to call that agency, if you get a call from a client that wants to have make a payment on their insurance, and you want to get that over to corporate service to take care of that, no problem. And literally bring up the department's extension here. Just give me department's group, drag that call over to customer service queue. That call will leave your extension and go right to the customer service queue. So none of that has changed as far as transferring calls back and forth. So just keep in mind that everything that you can do in Isymphony you can do on your physical phone and vice versa. So you can actually listen to voicemails on your phone. Obviously, you can transfer. You can transfer calls. You can do conference calls on your phone just through hitting the more button, joining conference, etc., etc. That's a lot of work, though. Isymphony makes it easy. So if you want to, let's say we're going to set up a conference call right now. And I'm going to drag the outside extension that you see right here down to the conference room. And
you are currently the only person in this conference.
That put me in conference room 1. And then I'm going to drag myself down there. It'll ring back automatically. Connected. Oh, sorry about that. Mute that. And we can, let me stretch this out a little bit. And all these windows are movable. You can put them around, move them around however you want to suit your preference there. But now you can see us both in a conference call. You can bring in multiple outside calls. You can bring in a carrier, customer service, that kind of thing. Have you guys all talking on one. Makes it really easy to do a conference call. Okay, I just went ahead and ended that call there to the conference room. The next section I want to talk to you about is your detailed voicemail widget. Up here, I showed you how you can get to your voicemails and all that real quickly. But here, if you click on each of these details right here, you can actually listen to it right here through this play button. You can listen on your computer. You can listen to it on your phone. And if you put your cursor over the extension, you can download this voicemail if you want to keep a record of it for whatever reason. Keep in mind, with WeInsure, we have it set up so that all your voicemails are going to your email as well. So that will keep it forever as a record. So even if you do delete a voicemail, you need to go back and look at it. Usually you probably have it in your email history. You can delete this voicemail, though. You can call the person back that left their voicemail, and it's based on caller ID and extension number, that kind of thing. Or you can forward this voicemail to another person, like a producer or something like that, if someone left it for an agent. And also you can move this voicemail if you want to save it. You can actually create folders over here and move it into those folders to kind of organize your voicemail if you want to do that. Okay, this next session, it changed quite a bit here. This is something new for everybody. In the previous versions, we used to have a group up here, an extension group called Carrier Customer Service and Carrier Claims Numbers. Basically, these were speed dial numbers for everybody in the company. It was a direct number for all our agents and for their claims, both for the claims and customer service numbers. So it's a little bit different here. So instead of setting it up on the departments, we actually have this new area called contacts. This is really cool because we get this question a lot. Can we create our own contact list within Isymphony? In previous version, you could not. In this version, however, you can. So you can easily go in here, click on add a contact, and name it whatever. Address, website, it has all kind of stuff in here that you can add. It's very, very handy for quick references. If you have an agent, client, whatever. It doesn't matter what you want to do there and stuff. But we have default phone books set up here for those, like I said, the previous mentioned numbers. Let's say you just want to click on one of these carriers for the claims numbers and stuff. Right now it shows shows all the information out there on it and stuff, but you can actually clean that up by clicking on this display hide fields right here and undo. Really pretty much all you need is the phone number and close that out. And if I wanted to call Nationwide Underwriters, all you have to do is go to that phone number, click on this little phone icon, and it would ring out to that particular carrier. Vendors, these are all the typical vendors that we use. Same thing. From your guys' perspective, from my perspective, I created these phone books and they're saved on mine, so I'm the owner of it. But from your perspective, this will show up under the shared phone books, but you get the concept. Same thing though, when you bring in calls to conference calls, you can actually transfer these calls back and forth. If you want to, if you have an insured, they have they got into an auto accident, want to file a claim with their car, literally you can transfer them over to that particular carrier just by literally dragging and dropping down to the contact, and that will that your insured will be connected with that carrier. Works really, really good. So I keep talking about how everything's customizable, and it's actually very easy to do. Everyone's going to want their own view on this. We have kind of we'll set it up with you guys with a kind of a recommended view, but everything, it's pretty easy to do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete everything I have here, and I'm going to set up a dashboard from scratch and show you how easy it is. And you can have multiple dashboards, that kind of thing. So what I'm going to do is, and these little icons right here, this is the edit button, which allows you to rename it. So I want to click on this. So right now it's called Dashboard 1. I can rename it to whatever, but there is a lock and unlock right here. So if you unlock this dashboard, what it does, it sets it up so that you can delete this. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this real quick. And basically I'm starting from scratch. So I'm going to click on this little plus icon right here to add a new dashboard. And if you notice, it has a single big window. Well, obviously we want to have more stuff than that in there. So these icons right here, these vertical and horizontal divider lines, we can actually click on this right here and split this in two. Then each window has their own. So I'm going to come over here and do a horizontal one here. Create that. And we're going to do, let's see, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then all you have to do is, and you can move, you guys can play this, you can delete it by clicking on the X if you want, and add another one. You know, it takes a few minutes just to kind of figure it out what you guys want, but I think once you kind of play with it a little bit, you'll be able to really do some cool stuff and set whatever view you want. So just click on this plus right here to add it. Over here I'm going to click on general right here. This is the My Stream users. We'll make this users on this dashboard. I click on it. There we go, just took a second there. Click on, down here we'll do our contacts. And let's see, we'll make this one our My Stream. And we'll make this, where's our conference rooms? Add a dashboard, conference rooms, dashboard 2. We'll go ahead and delete that, I created too many. And we'll make this our voicemail. And like I said, you can move these around however you want. And left, right, up, down, however you want it and stuff. Change the view, go in here, change it over to a list view on that, and you can actually come over here and rename this dashboard. Select it, click on the rename button. Oh, well, it's still changing views here. Give it just a second. There it goes, it finished there. So like I said, you can rename this dashboard. Call it whatever, and you can also add another dashboard. What I recommend probably for our service people is you can actually create a new dashboard. I'd rename it just so you make it easy to find, and you can come over here and put your cues in here and add a dashboard, and here you see all your cues listed out, who's all in it, that kind of thing. So Very cool, very flexible. I think you guys will love it. It is, like I said, web-based and very easy to roll out and use. Anyways, it concludes our training video here for the new Isymphony. We'll probably put another detailed one out and clean this up a little bit, but good luck, and looking forward to talking to you guys again. Thank you. Have a great day.